How many of you are developers here?
Everyone.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So for developers, we have some news. We are launching a hackathon from Hypersign in Dojima. We will show you the hackathon page. It's all ready. You can start building already and start your submissions from July 1st. About that, we will also be having some prices in that include cash and also credits for using SDKs from Hypersign. Apart from that, we will also be sponsoring, Quill Audits will be sponsoring smart contract audits for you guys if you guys actually build the product. And once we go on mainnet, we plan to enroll these projects into fellowship programs where you can actually build a product. So I'll just introduce the panel. We have starting from the right most, we have Santosh Bhagat. He is founder of Foundation. Foundation is a Web3 escalator and a coaching camp for Web3. You can say they support projects from ideation phase to going into the market and raising funds with all that you need from getting an idea to a product phase. Then we have Rishi from KIT, not KIT from Rishi. We have Rishi from KIT. He heads growth for KIT, which is also a decentralized identity protocol. It's from Germany. He lives in Germany. He works there. He heads growth for APAC region. That's why he was in India for a event. We got to call India. Something about KIT. KIT works in Deloitte. I was also amazed to see that integration between Web 2 and Web 3. Then we have Shantanu. He's from Lumos Labs. He is the DevRel there. He'll be talking about what Lumos Labs is. Then we have Bharat Reddy, that we already know. He's founder of Dojima Network. Then we have Vikram, who's co-founder of Hypersign. So story about Vikram and Vishwas, you guys saw, right? They also started from hackathon projects. Like I've heard stories from them how they built a company from, let's say, participating in hackathons, then building that product a little more, raising funds, and now to a full-blown project. So you should, if you're developers, you should participate in hackathons, try to get hands-on experience of new technologies that are there, because 10 years from now, things will change. Things are changing, maybe slow, but yeah, like I'll let these guys talk now. So yeah, over to you guys. The topic of this panel is need, or what is the importance of identity in Web3. Like right now, how we see or use Web3 is just with a wallet address, right? But going forward with regulation, we will need some kind of identity attached to these wallet addresses. And what would that be? How would it look like? We will look into that. Yeah, I'll just pass it on to you.
Thank you guys. First of all, like he said, you stayed back for a long time. I know the presentation was quite extensive, but this was more about the hackathon. I mean, as a developer, you are more focused on the code and how it can help. But apart from that, we also have to understand how the industry is thinking about the product that you are trying to build, right, or participate in the hackathon. So today on the panel, we have those type of people who are going to give their own opinion about. They are all from a different industry, but working in blockchain field. So I just was thinking like we should not be just developers writing code, but we should also listen to the industry experts. How they can take it to the next level, which is like from hackathon to your own company. So I will start the conversation definitely with Santosh sir. I'll hand over the mic to him. So two things. Please introduce yourself, and then also why do you think there is a need of identity in Web3?
Thank you. Wonderful to see so many people in Europe, and think we are all, I used to be able to code last 2024. Just to give you a background, I started India's first event trading platform way back in 2008. So when people today tell me that there is no market in Web3, Web3 was never going to happen and all that, if I take you in a time machine, in 2008 when I started the first event trading platform, India, and I was living in UK, London, and building the startup remotely, right? And building for 4 years with my own money. Even the angel investor in London didn't know what angel investment is. And in India, no chance, till 2010, 2011, right? Now, why I'm saying it, as we just now talked about it, this is how new creative ideas or big protocols and big opportunities will be coming, right, with whatever we are doing. So these last 2 hours or 3 hours that you have spent is a fantastic, sort of, in fact, kudos to the organizing team. Just to give a quick background, Kickstarted India's first communicating platform in 2008, ran that till 2020, bootstrap, funded, failed a couple of times, COVID hit, the platform didn't die, it's still existing, powers CII, Wiki, NASCOM, TAI, and many India's first startup conference was powered by XPAR. It's coming back to crypto and Web3 in another couple of weeks. My co-founder and team running that. And then when I was doing that, I was powering a lot of crypto conferences, blockchain conferences way back 16, 17, and that was my entry to crypto or Web3. Right, so that's the background, and from 2021 I'm running foundership with the same intent to say that when we are now going from an idea to a product or idea to a business, we have a lot of hurdles, right? How do you overcome that to build a business? Building a business is not easy. So that's the journey that I'm in at foundership. Now to come back to the question on DID, today for the last 4 or 5 years, what we have seen is a fantastic new set of technology that was not available for the last decade. Right? Last decade was all about scaling. You have React, then you have some other framework comes in. It's all about, hey, can I use the best JavaScript framework to scale? Web3 the first time, right? Being a developer, I'm telling you, Web3 the first time where we all are getting chance to go back and work on some original new ideas. Now DID is in a way what we see today, whether it's Reddit, whether it is the social web, or whether it is any other form of online, it's completely broken, right? So all, sort of somehow patched in to say, okay, you mean who you are is what you mean, okay, I am, right? In this sense, somebody is putting a definition to say, if Santosh is here, he might be the same Santosh somewhere else, right? So there is no transparency, there is no verifiable, there is no way you can articulate somebody's good work and take it forward. Now, DID is the backbone or the base for the entire movement that's going to happen, whether it's in the large scale enterprises or in the new social web that is going to come, or in the new commerce web that is going to come. For all that we are going to write for the next 100 years, right? DID will be a part and parcel of your identity, right? In terms of how important it is to have the transparent, the verifiable, the trust, right? In terms of building trust as a fundamental building block, which is what web should have been. But unfortunately, web has gone in a very wrong route, right? We cannot bring back, right? So DID is a way to redefine the web for the next 100 years, right? Of putting the backbone, right? So that's my interpretation to DID. I'll pass it back to people for the questions.
Sir, next, please, introductions.
Hi guys, a very good evening to all of you. Just quickly, how many of you devs over here? I didn't see last time.
Okay, so I'm Rish. My full name is Rishant. I go by the name Rish, and I'm from Kill Protocol. It's a decentralized identity protocol, and we are one of the very first project who worked with W3C standards while DID was taking birth altogether. Coming to identity, why we need identity, it has become much more important now with the emergence of AI, because what you are going to see in coming years, you will going to have so many deep fake videos coming out, so many manipulative images audios, and it will become extremely difficult to identify what is fake and what is real. And how you are going to address that, unless you in digital format, unless you have a digital identity, it's not going to happen. And I'm not going to say what we are going to do, but we are taking a route in that respect, because Google now will be restricting couple of ads and the media content based whatever will be coming out of AI, and which will completely spoil the media industry in specific. And this is coming from there was a recent event which happened in Berlin. Axel Springer, which is a partner with Kilt, they completely focused on the generative AI and how generative AI is going to break the digital space, and why we need identity over there to tackle that. Giving a little bit context about Axel Springer, they are the publisher of Business Insider and Politico in US, and it's a huge media company with like 300 million user base. Why I'm saying all these things? You have a very good opportunity as of now, where you can advance yourself in the identity space. And kudos to, I spoke with Vikram, I think last year regarding this space, and I was very much happy to see at least somebody else is taking this initiative or the step forward from the Indian ecospace, working on the DIDs or the identity space altogether. And my personal belief, not because I'm from identity protocol, the next I'm not sure I should say this, or the bull run or whatever will be based on the narrative of identity, because the way I'm going to take a very different perspective over here. The way SEC, how it's going behind the centralized exchanges as of now, you will see more and more people moving towards decentralized exchanges. But then again, there will be a scenario where these decentralized exchanges will also come under the regulation aspect and all those things, because of the nature of the decentralized exchanges, where you can't justify who is who, and the identity aspect will come over there as well. And this market is just starting now, and you are placed in a very correct time if you are more towards identity solutions and to develop on top of that. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Shantanu. I lead the engineering and developer relations at Lumos Labs. So Lumos Labs is a Web3 innovation company, and our mission is to empower developers to get into the Web3 space. So Web3 space is a very overwhelming space, to be honest. So to find the right path and to get yourself educated is challenge. So that's why we are actually working on building out right tools, consumer-facing apps for the people out there in the Web3 space. So that's what Lumos Labs does. Identity, again, it's a very interesting topic to talk about. So I have this very innovative story that I'll tell you. So I was hacking a hackathon, one of the global hackathon. So this one guy is sitting right beside me. He was creating a decentralized data. So my first question to him was, how do you match people? Decentralized data, it doesn't even make sense to me, right? How can I date somebody whom I don't know? Zero knowledge proof, right? I don't know. So he was trying to complicate it, but on the other hand, if you look at the grasp of the technology that is really building out, it's innovative, right? So because you're connected to somebody without even sharing the information and talking, when you have that connection done between two persons, decentralized chatting, and then you can take that forward. I'm not telling you how to date, but I'm just trying to walk you through what these guys were building. So that's how identity can help you, not just Tinder, but anywhere where you want your data to be yours. That's where identity can help you. It has a long way to go. People are still building out, people are still figuring it out. And I think, so again, for the developers who are just starting out or who are just getting into this space, just a quick note, I've been a dev myself, I'm still a dev. This space can be overwhelming, this space can be challenging as well. Do not dishearten yourself. Reach out to people whomsoever you feel. Be ashamed sorry, be as free as possible. Reach out to people if you have any queries. So don't be ashamed. Okay, so feel free. There are very good people out there who can help you out. So yeah, that's all from my side. And again, if you're building on identity, there are some really good identity out there. Learn more about SSIs, self-sovereign identities, self-DID as well. As with these, all of these great folks are building on DIDs. I'm not a very big DID enthusiast. I haven't explored a bit, but yeah, I am also getting into it. So that's all from my side.
Yeah, my name is Bhagat. So I talk about two things. One is about Hypersign, what I think about Hypersign, and then about the chance, what you get now, what you have to think about this chance. So Hypersign, I feel I'm not much talkative person. I'm more like kind of introvert. So I don't like my data to be breached by others. Like I don't want my data to be known by others. So I don't have any social accounts other than WhatsApp. Even I like to use button cell like Nokia rather than screen touch, because I want people to talk rather than chatting, or most people on WhatsApp, so I use touch because of that. That's it. So there are a lot of ideas that can be built on Hypersign for sure. Even I have an idea to build on Hypersign. So, and don't take this chance as light or very small or something. Don't think it's very small, because every chance is a chance. Because when I passed out in 2018, from then I built one product which is GAV. So then we built that product completely and we want to go to market. And this GAV is simple. I'll not promote this. So it's a community management platform. So where you can manage your community, some society, something like that. So then COVID has hit. After building the product for 2 years, the hard work, the COVID has hit and we cannot market it, because people think if we allow you, we may get COVID. Then that 2 years, I think we never thought it went into vain, because we built a product from 1% to 100%. So we got experience that we are confident that we built the product. Now our next step is go to market. Then COVID is, I think, 3 years. No one was allowing. Then we looked into Web3. That's when we started Dojima. So then we went to one accelerator, which we never thought of that it's going to help us. Then when we went to that accelerator and we won that accelerator program, that's where before that we were rejected by 40 VCs. We never let ourselves down. Rejection is common in this world. Sad is common. Everything is common. Good is uncommon. Success is uncommon. So take this chance as your chance or last chance. Build product and reach your goal. So yeah.
Thank you. I'll bring the topic back to I got two or three points when I was listening to all of you. One is that Sir was saying, one point is that from the AI perspective, the data which are being created by AI, and somehow we have to filter that out, or businesses will give services for those type of data or not. Like for example, ad service that you talked about. Another one point I want to get perspective is that the regulations that are coming, blockchain before 2020, everybody was like, okay, we can have a wallet and we can have any transaction that we can do. Like you said, people would move towards DEX now because centralized exchanges are getting regulated. So there are two types. I see that the blockchain community is being divided into two pools. One who aligns with the regulation and wants the regulation. Another one which we call it degens. Like they want to be anonymous. They whatever money they hold, they don't want to let anyone else know about it. So that's why they love, like, we just want a wallet, MetaMask wallet, and so nobody knows anything about the wallet. And that's why we love blockchain, or we want to interact with blockchain and build business. But the other half is like, no, we want to be compliant. I'll start with Sir, please. What do you think about these two each pools, and then definitely how identity is going to play a role there.
Sure.
And then moving on to.
Yeah, great question. So I think this is a trend, this is how at least the tech world has evolved. Right? So if you go back to 2000s, right? So if you look at 2000s, even in the world of online and offline, similar, right? So you had a set of people who thought, how can web take over the power of desktop, right? And lobbied for so many, and then web took over the taking power of web. Similarly, if you look at the open source Linux versus Windows or proprietary software, right? Open source versus everybody else. There was always a bunch of people who thought, hey, how can we build something that masses of people can leverage? That's the open source movement happened, which is what we are, everybody, all of us are thriving on that Apache, on that web server that happened for at least 10, 15 years, right? Without that, innovation would have been killed, right? So there were again two factors. Right? There were a factor of Apples and Microsofts and Oracles in the world who were building a very specific to say, hey, this is what we believe in, we don't want to touch what we believe will monetize, blah blah blah. Right? That was a bunch of people. And then there's a bunch of people who were always nerds, they were always anti-establishment or anti-proprietary software to say, hey, what can we do that I can use, they can use, anybody can use, right? Which is what today's world is composability, right? In Web3. So now taking that factor in Web3, these two blocks of people are important. What I'm trying to say is we cannot just ignore one region by saying what regions are saying doesn't make sense, everything is to be transparent. No, because that is not how innovation happens. Innovation happens in a chaos. Innovation happens in disagreement. Innovation doesn't happen in agreement. If we are all agreeing, then we will not have SEC coming in day president. They disagree. And there is a set of people who are agreeing. Right? That is how innovation has happened. That is exactly why we are all ignored. Because in the old world, we don't get that opportunity. It's established, you have to do this way only, that's it. Here you can question it. Here you can say, no, what regions are trying to say could make sense for certain sectors. Maybe, right? Maybe there will be some other forms of form factor will come, right? If you are a region. Today also, Ajay rightly saying, hey, I'm an user, but you cannot force me to reveal my identity everywhere.
Yeah.
I have my fundamental rights. Nothing wrong about it. Right? So similar as a DJ, if they say, hey, I have an opportunity right now in Web3 world to go to maybe Dex, maybe somewhere else and be a norm, absolutely fine. When you monetize it, when you then derive the value, wherever you derive the value, they are going to, whether you derive the value in BVI or Bahama or wherever you are, you're going to pay wherever it is.
Taxes.
Yes, there is always an issue of your national identity, where you're making money, and finally where you're going to be derived. So I would say that block is going to remain until unless you cut it out fully, which is very, very difficult in the world that we are in, because I can always run a node and live with that node, right? In a way. So we'll see that. So to cover that point, that is one part. The other block of regulated world is how important it is, because that's how we will go to the next step. How will you convince your friends who are not in this world come, right? They need to have some confidence saying that yes, yeah, I can come, I will be treated, my data is protected, hey, I'll be given the same service where I will not be denied. All that fundamental rights on the other side is equally important, where DID comes into play. Today, if I have to go and in fact play the along for these people, set of people who want the regulated world, it's very hard for them, right? Thanks to account abstraction now, Web3 will get more momentum ahead. Because if I go to my bunch of my friends who don't believe why I'm in Web3, right? So then it's very difficult for me to bring them in. But the moment they come and click that button and get in, and then hey, if you have got some rewards, put it in your wallet, they are happy. That's okay. I can relate to this world. So now looking at the DID subject, we bring the DID and say, as he's talked about how in the world that we are today, it's fast moving with generative AI. We will have terabytes of data being produced. Right? Forget about what is being answered. We will have billions of deepfakes coming in. Right? It's really mainstream. You can't just stop it. Plus the natural Web2 issues that is evident that could not be solved in the old Web2. You need DID as a fundamental, and that is also for the people who are regulated. I would say. So I would say both of them are equally important. You would have a cohort of DJs, anons who do not want to get into the idea or do not believe it. How big that is going to be, time will tell. I don't know, it could be 30, 70, it could be 20, 80. But for your mass adoption, you need regulated world. Without regulated world, no country, no policy makers can take a stand and say, hey, I will let you operate while my citizens or my users are left at chaos.
Yeah.
That, I don't think any technology could be mainstream with whatever. But the basic philosophy of what we are getting into is very defined. That you are defining a system which is very viable, permissionless. That is the fundamental block on which we are building this. So I don't think what happened to Web 2 or the previous Web is going to happen in Web 3, right? Because of the fundamental blockchain philosophies and principles, right? So DID is very much required by looking at these two cohorts. Is my thought here.
Thank you, sir. My question. So I will try to connect all the speakers because you are each from a different background. But the point I'm trying to bring in is like data privacy and identity. So, like sir said, there are two different. There will be always two different types of people. One would not like any sort of verification. They want to be free and move around. I belong to one of those actually, but we cannot live like that in real world because there is always regulations in place. Now, for you, Rish, you talked about like the AI part, right? AI is generating data. So, where is identity being played a role of identity systems in the new type of data which is being generated in AI, and how is it helping? Can you please give some perspective?
I'll give a very short example. Think of you as a media correspondent in the field. You're covering certain event.
Yes.
Okay. You took a photograph. You transferred it to somebody else in your company to publish it.
Okay.
Now that person used the AI and changed certain elements in the photograph. Now how you will prove that that photo which was transferred in the initial phase and this photo which is now been transformed are the two of the same things. One is fake, one is original. So the moment someone is, I'm giving an idea of an app over here. Suppose this is what I was thinking personally.
I wanted you to actually direct to them.
So suppose there is someone who has developed an app for certain kind of people in the field itself. The moment he captures the photograph, it saves the entire metadata into something. I'm just giving you a random example over here, and once it gets transferred, it should be in such a way that it should have a certain kind of digital badge attached to it, so that if the next person tries to tamper it or kind of tries to manipulate it, So the metadata will change in that scenario. So this is a very basic example which I can think of as of now from the media perspective, because you asked me that.
Definitely, this is a amazing actually use case.
So this is very small example. This can be applied on audios, on videos, in terms of the transcripts, in terms of the documents which you transfer between the people. Talking about, I will cover a little bit about Kilt over here. Why? Because we as such, there are multiple identity protocols out there, and I have seen couple of them still trying to use Web 2. When I say Web 2, is like to onboard the users using their Gmail address or any of the mail address, which is fundamentally wrong, because you are again trying to capture the users using the existing database, and then trying to give them a digital identity based on that. I'm not quite sure how many of you have seen Kilt or in fact interacted with the wallets and all these things. So we don't give out the DID based on the email addresses. You will interact with the wallet, and as long as you have 2 Kilt tokens, you can create your DID. And later point of time, you can verify yourself. Like we have a platform called Social KYC. On that, you can attach any of your social credentials, be it email, Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot. You can keep on attaching these credentials to your DID, but the system only keeps the data as long as you are doing this process. So none of the data gets stored anywhere. The only thing which gets stored is the hash value of the transaction. So as you trigger your email ID, suppose you want to attach your email ID to your DID, you trigger this process, and the system, you will have to verify in your mailbox. You will receive an automated mail. You verify that you own this particular account. As soon as you do that, the system forgets who you are, but your email gets attached to your DID, and you are verified. At the same point of time, you are anonymous, yet verified, which we see how it will be utilized going forward, where people will have the power to still say that, okay, I own this account, but at the same point of time, they won't give out any of those data because it's not saved anywhere. This is one take, and you can think of the ideas on top of this, how you can do. And since you are from Cosmos ecosystem, I mean, in the main fundamental thing from in Polkadot is the future is going to be very multi-chain, and everybody will use everyone. And currently our DID supports Ethereum, Polygon, anything. You can attach any of the account, and possibly someday, if you feel like, we can possibly have a Cosmos also supporting the. And this is how everybody should think of as of now.
Yeah.
Because if you have to create a base of identity, one can't say that only my product will work out.
Yeah, for sure.
Tomorrow it could be Polygon ID, tomorrow it could be any other ID, and they should all complement each other and create a big ecosystem of the identities, of the digital identities, because that's how I think going forward it will be utilized. And as far as you were mentioning about degens, and so take it as like BJP or Congress. So you need two set of people. Somebody has to stop you if you are doing wrong. It could be either side.
Yeah.
It could be the regulated side, or it could be the degen side. So that's my take on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your idea. And I think some of you can, if you have listened to him, maybe you can build that idea for the hackathon, or probably look for a grant. So basic idea is that if there is a image and if it is generated by AI or modified by an AI, in the use case of like what was
The news. Suppose suppose you got you are in a heated environment where something huge has happened, and you took a photograph of that, and then you manipulate that photograph
yes.
and try to frame somebody else in that. That's a huge thing. I mean, the false news, fake news, you see how soon they become viral. And most of the times we have seen these fake news getting viral within like minutes.
Yeah.
And to curtail that, this is the only way how you can do. The moment the media is getting generated, at the same point of time you badge it with some certain kind of digital identity, so that it can't be manipulated, and even if it's manipulated, it should trigger some kind of notification or something like that.
Thank you. So this was one use case. Now I'll bring you to your attention towards metaverses. Here, this gentleman is from Lumos Lab, who is building metaverse for Web3 interactions, and I would like to know, like when we were talking before, you talked about LinkedIn, but with steroids, like privacy preserving LinkedIn probably. So I was telling you, I read that document of LinkedIn that they are moving, they are also adopting DIDs for whatever reasons. So in that perspective, keeping the DID technology aside, when you are building the metaverse, so how do you imagine the identity is going to play a role, and how are you going to make it privacy preserving? Or either it's going to be same as Web2 application where you are storing all the user data, or you are thinking in a different way where for managing the user information. I mean, regardless of any technology, we don't have to say that we have to use DIDs, but how do we, imagine? This is for the developers here. So when they are building their apps or dApps, so how can they onboard user with privacy? Yeah. So hope that's
Yeah, that makes sense. So privacy again. So continuing the question again. So metaverse. So just quickly brief up on what we are building and how we are building it. So Lumos Labs metaverse is again it's a multi-chain metaverse. We are chain agnostic. We support and love to have all the chains up there. So the biggest problem is if you have a different chain, you need to have a different wallet for each chain.
right.
So that's one problem that we want to solve.
Yeah.
Bringing in one singular ID, which can give access to multiple IDs. You can link up your multiple wallet IDs to your singular Lumos ID. And this say Lumos ID, which is like our own DID, which we create down the line, and through which you can communicate with the Lumos ecosystem that we are trying to build up.
Cool.
So we have like an education portal, we have like a metaverse that's coming out, we have like a recruitment portal and whatnot. So a couple of products, and that products would be easily synced up using that ID. So that's something that we have in our mind. So coming to the next part of the question is, what are the perspectives that you keep in mind while you build or you onboard the next set of users?
Yeah.
So education is a vital part when you build any applications in Web3. So if I talk to my parents and tell them that you want to download this wallet, it's very painful. I can't expect them to take a wallet out there and buy something. So I think simplifying the user onboarding process is one set of things that that any developer should focus on. Next part is there are a lot of chains out there. So supporting multi-chains. So let's say if someone is building an EVM, so supporting EVM chains or maybe looking at EVM protocols and then creating a single ERC20 based wallet address and then playing the rest of the game is something that I would look at, even if it's a Cosmos chain or a Polka chain. So if it's a para chain, that is something that somebody's building out. So that again becomes like a single ecosystem driven thing. Right? So I think people should, when they're building out, they should focus on what are the core essence of what are they trying to build and what are the real data that they really want. Because so let's say again, if you're building a social network or a metaverse out there, end of the day you need a bit of data.
Yeah.
Because if I want to, as you said, right, generative AI or AI, with the help of AI, you can give a lot of immersive. You can actually enhance the immersive experience in metaverse with the use of data. But if you're not using it at the right point in time or not in the right process, there are a lot of loopholes out there. Anybody can easily click things up, and I can use the data to show them ads. Just being Web 2 all over again. So if I'm preserving their data, not showing them ads, not playing along with their data, but actually cluttering the content that they want. So let's say if there is a hackathon happening on Polka, let's give an example, and somebody is just posting out on the metaverse that this is happening, and people have like listed down their skills saying I build on Polka. So my job is to tell them there is something built on Polka. I should not go MIA saying I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the right data. I mean, the social
segregation of data. Like
is essential.
What actually is essential for your application, only store that much.
Exactly.
And no need to actually store everything that is not even required.
Yeah.
This is one like basic philosophy we should adopt regardless of any technology. I mean, I'm telling this because we all are like new developers, right? Upcoming developers. And me and my brother Vishwas, we wrote a blog like 3 years back, where we didn't know what technology, DiD and all, but we looked at just the data stored in one of our application, and we were like, how can we make it more privacy preserving? Because there were like 3 hacks happened. One was on Flipkart, and then there was another application which got hacked, because of which all the other applications in India got hacked. So we were like, he pointed out the right point, that if you can somehow diversify your user table at least, like only take information which is required for your application, don't take all the information from the user. A simple example is, you are selling, let's say there is an application who want to sell beer. Beer you only want to sell to people who are 18 years plus, example, maybe 20 years or I don't know, 18 years. So you only verify whether they are above 18 or not, and store a proof that in your database that he is over 18. You don't need to store his date of birth. You don't need any new technology. Your existing technology only just change the way database is structured. So that's like one core philosophy of this whole new way of developing identity coming up in future. So self-sovereign identity basically teaches about it. It's not about any one singular technology as DiD or verifiable credential. Now I will bring that to since he is building cross-chain liquidity platform. I have one perspective about it, and where I see the most problem, which is like like most of the last year we lost lot of money across these bridges. They were hacked. Do you see that if there was some identification involved there, we could at least find out who was the hacker, or you see that degens would not like it, so we will not have the liquidity moving in. So there is two perspectives, right? You are bridging you're building the bridges because it has to move liquidity across these different blockchains. But now the perspective is bridges are getting hacked. I think Dojima is trying to solve that one problem for sure. That how do we safeguard our liquidity? It's a huge problem across the whole blockchain ecosystem. Some people are students, so just I will give you a background about this topic. So to move your token from, let's say, Ethereum to Polygon, you use a bridge. Now this bridge is like set of server run by some entities, and then there is 2 contracts, one on Polygon side, another one on Ethereum side. Issue is who owns the private key of these contracts, or even if you don't own the private key, how is the security being implemented? Like, let's say that there are some external people who is message passing between these 2 chains, relaying information that, hey, somebody put money in this contract, so we should give the same money in the other chain on another contract. Now, this is where the most of the hacks are happening. Like, this is a centralization, right? If you don't distribute it properly. So, technology like Dojima are trying to solve that. So my question is whether we should bring in identity layer there, or there is no requirement of identity layer. Like this could be solved in a very different way.
So yeah, definitely there has to be identity. Who is legal? Who wants to be legal? There can be identity, and there is no objection.
Okay, let me put this question another way. how did you solve the security of data movement, like between Ethereum to other chains in case of Dojima? Like, what was your thought process? I know you had that initial whiteboarding with your co-founder, right? Like, why Dojima originated? First is we need to get the liquidity in one place, like easily getting the liquidity. But the point is, if you're moving liquidity, whether how is this built on Dojima, so you are solving that there won't be any hacks in future in the bridges, like Hermes layer or whatever.
Before building Dojima, we saw a lot of hacks on bridges. So we try our best not to get hacked, and we solved, and we came up one approach is that we don't want to hold some other one's tokens on some other bridges or some other place. So what we want to do is we want to take care of their logic of holding tokens by themselves. All we want to do is we just want to deal the message passing or the token passing. Other than that, we don't want to do anything.
Oh, so each interaction is from the user wallet, and the contract only stores information about that he wants to move,
Yes.
not the actual liquidity.
Yes. So that's what we don't want to store someone's tokens, and that's where we'll have the authority of dealing his tokens on behalf of his, right? So if there is a problem in that or a bug in that area, then within 1 second we can lose all the money.
Yeah.
So all we want is we don't want to hold other person's tokens or other tokens on behalf of Dojima. So we want to deal by themselves whatever they want to do in cross chain.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much for being here. I thank all of us, including the panelists and all of you who have been here from last 4 or 5 hours. Thank you very much for coming here. I will hand over the mic to Pankaj, who will announce, like, next. I think we have some food. Everyone is coming.
Yes, so about the hackathon, the group that you guys have joined will post the link to the hackathon there. You can already go check out all the details about it, it's all there. And you can start to submit your bids from 1st July. We will also maybe put it here, the scanner, where you can scan that and see the hackathon page. Apart from that, before you leave, we have this same t-shirt for everyone here. Do take these t-shirts, we have some nice laptop stickers, and do have something to eat, and then we can close this. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.